Definitely interested to see that next scan here. Got a new mesoscale discussion from the Storm Prediction Center. This is kind of taking our focus up to Kansas again, back towards Kansas City. Upscale growth into an MCS is ongoing in northern Kansas. Downstream wind threat should increase in the coming hours. Essentially, what they're saying is that these storms up here in Kansas are going to turn into a wind bag, not necessarily a derecho. Okay, I don't want you guys to get those two mixed up, but a strong line of winds and storms is going to move down into the Kansas City region over the next couple of hours. So right now they're moving pretty slow. Once that upscale growth really gets going and we see this organized more into a line like that, the storms will get faster and faster as they approach Kansas City. So that's what you guys can expect tonight. More than likely, that'll be the main feature of this severe weather event for you, is the potential damaging winds that are associated with that. Back to this storm in Texas, which is just looking downright menacing on radar. This definitely looks like it could be producing a tornado. Once again, it's hard to tell exactly what's going on from velocities right now. If the reflectivity is accurate, and like we do see a tightly rotating velocity couplet or a mesocyclone underneath that hook there, then this is the perfect candidate for a tornado producing storm. The only thing we're missing is a debris signature on the correlation coefficient, and then we've got ourselves a radar indicated or radar confirmed tornado. We're not there yet. However, I would definitely be in my safe spot if I'm in Forestburg, Dry Valley, Mallard, or Fremont in Texas. This is a dangerous storm. That most recent scan just continues to, promote the idea that this is a very dangerous storm, and we need everybody to take shelter immediately. This is for Montague County, Texas. Tony, no, you're good. You're good, Tony. Every frame here just continues to be more and more convincing of, we've got something, coming together here near Dry Valley, Texas. I really hope that we've got everybody getting in their safe spots in Forestburg, Texas right now. This is a dangerous storm, and it does look like a tornado is underway or about to happen here. I believe that if there is a tornado, which there's a very high likelihood that that's what's happening here. It's south of Dry Valley, Texas. South and east of Salona. Hold on, let me get my bearings straight here. Okay, so the tornado, right now, if it's on the ground, which I do believe that it is, or it's close, then it's going to be near Denver Cemetery. All right. And if it moves in the direction that it's been going, it's going to go towards Forestburg. It's going to go over the Dry Valley Dairy Farm first, the Ponderosa Guest Ranch. It'll come into Forestburg on the side of town where 1749 and 455, those roads where they intersect, and where Forestburg High School used to be. The Soil Conservation Service site is also
A
one of the
new
things in the
tornado
path
warning
there.
has been issued.
New tornado warning for Osage and Pawnee counties in Oklahoma. And that's a continuation of our tornado warning that now goes all the way past Fairfax and Ralston. So this is another supercell that's really interesting here that we should definitely continue to watch. However, it's not currently producing a tornado. It's close. And we need you to get to your safe spot in Ralston just in case it goes the extra mile there and decides to produce. This storm over here in Texas is closer. In fact, I still believe that it's very possibly producing a tornado right now. And it's coming into Forestburg. So, Forestburg, Texas, please take shelter if you haven't already. You want to get to the most interior room of your home with as many walls between you and the outside world as possible. And you want to, bring me with you, charge phone, tablet, put on a pair of shoes, put on a raincoat. Assume that you might have to walk over some splintered wood and maybe out in the rain, just in case there's some damage and you need to evacuate your home. And assume that you're going to need to call somebody. Go ahead, Elijah.
Hey, Ryan, that is probably a tornado on the ground. There is a TDS up to 18,000 feet if that is actually on the ground.
All right, thank you, Elijah. So once again, we're in a little bit of a radar, not necessarily a radar hole. We're just in a weird spot here where it's hard to sample the storm correctly and look at velocity and everything. But if what we're seeing is correct and like everything else, especially if you just look at reflectivity here, it all lines up pretty well. If what we're seeing is correct, that it does look like this storm is likely producing a tornado that is maybe even a strong tornado, and it is on the ground and it is moving towards Forestburg, Fremont, and those areas right now. So please take shelter. This is not a confirmed warning from the National Weather Service. As you know, they're having the same kind of difficulties that we are of trying to observe what's going on inside of that storm. But you know, from what we can see, it's a pretty concerning signature here. So some places, if this thing continues to try to produce a tornado as it goes past Forestburg, some places that need to be watching out right now are Prairie Point, Ralston, Hood, and maybe even as far east as Gainesville, Texas. You guys are in the path of this thing as well. If you don't get a tornado, then you'll probably get the golf ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds associated with the forward flank of this storm. Back up to Oklahoma. This storm continues to rotate and cause problems for us. And another radar hole here. As this storm goes towards Bartlesville, eventually, it's going to impact Fairfax and Ralston first with tennis ball size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds, and of course, the very real threat for a tornado right in here. So get ready and take shelter if you haven't already. Latest scans on our storm here in Texas. I mean, we just, unfortunately, we continue to see signs that this is a tornado, big tornado going on here, coming into Forestburg. Wow. Honestly, quite surprised that we haven't seen an upgrade yet from the National Weather Service to a confirmed tornado, as pretty much all the boxes are checked for a radar confirmed tornado warning. However, it doesn't really matter if you're watching this stream right now and you're in Forestburg or anywhere out in front of this storm. You know that we are pretty confident that this is a storm capable of producing damage in the because there's a tornado. So please take shelter now. Strong rotation. We can't see the storm perfectly, so that's probably why we haven't seen any confident upgrades in the warning yet from the National Weather Service. But there's a good chance that there's a tornado here, so it's better to be safe than sorry. Get this shelter in Forestburg, Texas. Wow. Go ahead, Elijah.
Hey, Brian. So there's just like a lot of confusion with the storm, as you said. Like there's some parts that are contaminated, some parts that seem like they might not be. But in the latest continuation of the radar indicated warning, the National Weather Service actually put in that Frostburg is in the path of this tornado. They did continue it as radar indicated, but the wording was slightly different than a typical radar indicated warning. So I'm wondering if the National Weather Service is kind of as confused as we are. I don't know if they know there's even a like I don't think we know there's a tornado on the ground or if it's pure contamination. I think at that point
Right.
it's either like a strong tornado or contamination.
Yep. Absolutely, Elijah. And unfortunately, even though we do have the best radar coverage on Earth, like as we were just talking about, we still end up in moments like this, where I'm pretty confident that whatever we're looking at here is certainly like if I lived out here, I would not be like, you know what? Maybe I'm gonna sit here in the living room because I don't think that that's a tornado. No, like I'm taking shelter because there's definitely enough evidence to support the idea that there's a tornado here. We're just not 100% sure, like we would a lot of times be in a situation where there's a tornado because there's a lot of different things that we can look at via these radar products. So. Regardless, Forestburg, you are, let's just go ahead and assume that you're in the path of a big tornado and you need to take shelter. And hopefully you've already gotten there. But yeah, like even if you just zoom out and just take a look at the behavior of the supercell as a whole, this just looks like a storm that is producing a tornado. Like we've seen a lot of them here.
A new tornado warning has been
So,
issued.
yeah, they just extended that warning out to Gainesville now, still radar indicated. Gainesville, Texas, you're under a tornado warning now for the next hour or so. Radar indicated rotation. This tornadic thunderstorm is going to, once again, Gainesville, take shelter. Gainesville is a pretty large area in Texas, north of Dallas. So I know there's going to be a lot of people hearing the sirens and stuff. This is a very dangerous storm. There's a chance that this thing has a big tornado on it right now. We just don't know for sure. But it's not a chance I would be willing to take. So just get to shelter, and we'll let you know when it's time to come out. Going back up here to our other tornado warning in Oklahoma, a little bit of a better view of the rotation with this storm, but still kind of contaminated, not the best. But this one I'm less convinced by, but still, it's a tornado warning. It's coming for Ralston and Fairfax, Oklahoma, so you guys should be sheltering. Absolutely. And then our mesoscale convective system is really starting to come together now in northern Kansas. And remember, if you're in Kansas City tonight, likely the way that you're going to be impacted by this severe weather is that this is going to turn into a big line of severe thunderstorms that causes damaging winds late tonight into the early morning hours tomorrow in Kansas City. Oh, look, Michael Beard. I actually just realized that Storm Chaser Michael Beard is in Forestburg, Texas. So we have a live camera there. We have a live view from Forestburg. So far, is his camera frozen or is oh no, it's not. I see hail. I see some rain. I don't see a lot of lightning, surprisingly. So take that however you need to take it. If you look at the other feeds that we have, they're on that same storm, but there's a ton of lightning. But here we have Michael at the very base of it, and I'm not seeing a lot of flashing at all. Tornado threat in Kansas City tonight's not high. Okay, so latest scan here. Man, there's just so many weird things with this storm. It's very hard to understand exactly what's going on. Latest scan here takes the original hook that we were looking at and kind of does a situation where it looks like it's occluding into the storm, but there might be a mesoscale or a mesocyclone handoff happening here to the south of Forestburg that lines up pretty well with the new area of increased rotation apparent from the velocities. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna be completely honest with y'all. This radar imagery might be playing tricks with us. So we don't know exactly what's going on, but what we do know is that the appearance here on radar for the most part is related to big tornadoes that we've covered in the past. It looks similar. So we're going to assume that this is a tornado, and we're going to take shelter if we're in Prairie Point, Roston, Hood, Leo, Era, and Valley View in Texas. And we're going to stay in our safe spots at least for the next 58 minutes because that's how long the tornado warning lasts. Go ahead, Elijah.
Hey Ryan, so on the latest radar scan, there actually does appear to be a little bit of a clearer TDS or tornadic debris signature that's not as like noisy data. So that is probably a tornado that is on the ground.
All
If I
right.
had to take a guess.
All right. Thank you very much, Elijah. Likely at the National Weather Service right now, they're having these same exact conversations. They're looking at this in a similar way. That's why we haven't seen an upgrade to the warning yet, is because there's not a confident moment where we've seen like, oh yeah, sure, that's a tornado. But I'm telling you right now, just off of just looking at the motion of the supercell as a whole, like if you play this loop right here, it just acts like a supercell that produces a tornado. So, and also this is a very common thing right here with the mesocyclone handoff. everything is looking like it's there. So like I'm assuming that the tornado's down and we're getting into our safe spots in Prairie Point because that's where it's going next. Clay says I might have missed this, but oh, actually, Johnny says Elijah's done a great job as Andy is on vacation. Elijah is, yeah, Elijah's killing it. He's doing a great job. And Elijah's going to be with us even when Andy comes back from vacation, by the way. Hopefully, as long as he wants to be. Andy's going to be back in a couple of days. But like, hopefully, you guys won't hear from Andy for a little while because we won't be covering severe weather after tomorrow for at least a week or two. That's what I'm hoping, anyways. Yeah, Andy will be back with us shortly. Somebody asked that in the chat, and then somebody also was complimenting Elijah there. So we'll have the dream team together in the next stream, more than likely. Not tomorrow, but the next one after that, with hopefully all three of us here. Still pretty confident that a tornado is ongoing down here between Forestburg and Prairie Point in Texas. Okay, so Prairie Point and Roston, you guys need to be in your safe spots if you haven't gotten there already. Got a pretty good indication that we've got debris being lofted into the air here. We've got a pretty tight velocity couplet, a hook evident on radar, classic supercell on, reflectivity. So this is something that we need to take very seriously as we see this storm move over Roston towards Hood, Era, and Valley View. That's where it's going next. This is a tornado that very well could be on the ground right now. Go ahead, Elijah.
Hey, Ryan. So Andy is actually saying that the Texas tornado is on the ground right now. He like not visually, but he's looking at radar, and
Okay.
Andy is saying it is on the ground.
All right. Thank you, Elijah. So, a lot of people on this side are starting to, we're on the page that this is on the ground. Andy even is suggesting that this is a tornado on the ground. We still don't have a confirmed warning from the National Weather Service, but hopefully we've got some people watching in Prairie Point and Roston right now, and we're convincing you guys to take shelter because we think that it is necessary. Okay. Obviously you're under a tornado warning all the way over there to Gainesville, Texas as well. So you guys should be getting into your safe spots as well. Oh wow! If you switch over to the terminal radar here, north of Dallas, near the Colony in Texas, you can see the thing very apparently even on that. So that tells me that there's a little bit, there's quite a bit of convincing data here that this thing is on the ground, like especially with these two additions up here. It wasn't quite as apparent, I guess, a couple frames ago, but now, I mean, that's a tornado. So yeah, once again, we do believe we're quite confident that this is a big tornado on the ground here between Forestburg and Roston. Once again, I'm just really hoping that we're convincing some people to take shelter. This is why it's important that if you guys know anybody out here, you're sharing this stream with them. There is no confirmation from the National Weather Service that this is a tornado, and there should be. If you know anybody out here near Roston and Prairie Point, you please just send them a text message, call them, whatever. Tell them that this might be the real deal right here. Okay. Valley View and Gainesville, you're next in line. Gainesville, I'm gonna hope that the rotating part of the storm stays to your south, but you're still going to get hit by the 70-mile-per-hour winds and golf ball size hail associated with the forward flank of the storm. There's also a chance that the storm occludes and eventually maybe goes up towards Gainesville. We don't know that for sure, but I'm more concerned specifically about Valley View. Valley View would be in the direct path of this tornado if it continued to follow the direction of the parent supercell. Once again, just waiting. We see what we see. We said what we could say. I'm just waiting on the next scan and also waiting on hopefully some sort of clarification, an update from the National Weather Service here. So if you are just now tuning in, we are watching very closely this tornado that is occurring up here near Leo and Era in Oklahoma. I'm sorry, in Texas. Sorry. We believe that this has been with us for a while. It's probably produced a couple of tornadoes. It's currently doing it again near Leo, and we've got a big supercell here capable of producing several tornadoes as it continues to move east towards Valley View. So Valley View, take shelter if you haven't already. Velocity is just, everything about this just continues to look more and more convincing here. So just doing our job to try to convince people to take shelter. Apparently, Michael Beard here near Forestburg, Texas, has some debris, but his camera is so dark you can't even really see the lightning. So I don't know how you guys saw anything. If you're just now tuning in, we've got a tornado here near Roston, Texas, moving east towards Valley View, and we're pretty confident that it's there, and we're just trying to influence people to take shelter out here in Leo era, Lois, Hood, and Valley View.